Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's 5:30. I recognize that I am present, Michael's present, Zayn is present, Justin is present, Ilsa is present, Mohammed is present, Elise is present, Nithya is present, Scott is present, and I am present. We'll go over our agenda for today. I'll go ahead and scroll that. I'd like to move to amend the agenda a lot. So at about last night or 2 nights ago, we received additional house requests from the Astronomy Club. This was through for on-campus events as approved by this board with the Michael plan. So those two have been added on to the Astronomy Club's Sahas listing here. So I've added in FBO 110 and 111, which is for their 2 on-campus events. So I'd like to move to add those to our agenda for today. So, all right, thank you. And then if you want to keep scrolling down, no legislation was received for the appeals board nominee, so we are striking that from the agenda. So yeah, move to strike that from the agenda. And then there was a discussion request from Lisa for Bull Brigades, so I've added that on and put 10 minutes on the schedule for that. And then I'm introducing JL03-1920, which is the legislation that I'll go with you guys. It's amending our budgetary statutes, I believe, which is to fix an issue with section 6.4, which still gives the power of reallocation to the treasurer. Last year we shifted that power from the treasurer to the finance board, so this is just amending our budgetary statutes to fall in line with what we've been doing. And then also last night we received a house request from Richard for Poets, who also indicated they could come in today. So they'll be coming in at 7:30, and I've attached that as FBO 112-1920. Yes.
Can I also just add, so Nancy and I met with one club. Yeah. So we met with them today, so we just had some other discussion items that stem from that conversation. So I guess whatever makes sense to add that in.
All right, I'd like to move to add in after legislation, but before Retriever Poets, an additional section for discussion about what's it, AICHE?
Yeah, there's one on AICHE. Yeah, I mean that's the main one, but there was like 2 other points that kind of stuff from the conversation. So
Heat, not data. We'll set discussion time for that at 7:30 to 7:40, and we'll shift the time for Retriever Poets from 7:30 to 7:40, basically push the rest of our agenda back 10 minutes. You're gonna have to Control X the whole thing. There you go. Just tap it. Just tap it.
Like ding, do ding.
Someone else.
You got it, Dean.
Somebody else.
You're good. Done that.
Yes, Liz?
No, AIA also sent it through that.
Yeah, we'll stop it on with additional discussion.
Okay.
Just doing something.
Yeah, so don't mess with that one right now. So this is our change agenda, and then also this discussion, which we will put after Retriever Poets. Don't put that in just yet. I'll put that in afterwards. So those are the changes we have added to our agenda, including traditional discussions, along with all the changes that have been made prior. Is there a motion for regarding the agenda?
move to approve October 15th agenda.
As amended.
As amended, sorry.
Second.
All right, all in favor, please raise your hands now. All opposed? All right, if you want to go ahead and click the check mark for all the changes on the side. And then you can go ahead and add in the additional discussion and fix them. All right, did everyone get a chance to look over the minutes from last meeting? All right, all in favor of, are there any objections to approving the minutes? Hearing no objections, the motion is passed with general consent. Is anyone from BSU here?
Will they know time?
Yes, emails for this were sent out from the finance board email on Friday.
What time are they supposed to be?
Now. Students are all,
Did they respond to your email?
no one responded to me. As far as I'm aware. Alright then, move to table the debt hearings for BSU until or unless they show up. Here we go, John. So seconded on that? Alright, all in favor of tabling BSU, please raise your hands now. All opposed? Motion carries. Liaison email reminder, Justin, I give the floor to you.
So the 17th is going to be the last email that we send to clubs, telling them that, you know, they have, basically that's their last day to apply for funding. Also, I know some of you have been getting clubs that have been asking for extensions because they want to try and meet with Grid Spheres now. But the leadership has decided that we won't be giving any extensions to any club, so please let that be known to them. We're probably going to handle it through Sahas request in the spring. And yeah, if they have any other issues, please just email or get in touch with me or Liam. And yeah, so please just, this week is probably going to be busy for a lot of clubs that will try to come to you for any last minute advice or questions about how the board may do on things. So just try and get back to them as soon as you can and please keep everybody's week.
Anything else? If not, that's fine.
Yeah,
Alright,
Scott?
To provide more context on that, clubs have known this deadline since the first treasurer turning the first Friday of the semester, and Britt has sent out multiple reminders of her deadlines as well, that they have to meet with her before, I think it was Sunday, or the previous Sunday, so. While it's unfortunate that a lot of clubs did not do their budgets in the time frame allocated, we're not going to extend the deadline beyond the 18th.
if you have trouble telling that your clubs, don't hesitate to tell them to ask me for the extension, and I will send them a very nice email saying absolutely not. So that's an issue. Just feel free to do that. Alright, we have some first year ambassadors here, I hope. Right, Josh? Alright, so we're gonna start off by just going around the table with some introductions. That way kind of everyone knows who everyone is. And then we'll give you a quick rundown of what the finance board does. I'll let each member say a little something about what they feel like they do as a rep, and then you're free to ask any questions or until someone comes in. Alright, you wanna go ahead and start, Scott? For introductions.
Scott Buchanan, SGA treasurer,
My name is, I love the energy you bring to the room, Scott. My name is Liam Kim. I'm the current chair of the finance board. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a voting member.
Hi, I'm Michael Chapman. I'm the finance board representative. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm also a voting member. Hi, I'm Zach Hoffberger. I'm the vice president of student organizations, he, him pronouns, and I'm also a voting member of the finance board.
My name is Amanda Lola. I'm not a voting member. FYA.
Hi, my name is Joshua. I'm the co-advisor of the first year ambassador program. You can find out.
I'm Taylor. I'm first year ambassador. My name is Shannon.
My name's Ira. I'm a first year ambassador. She was
Hi, I'm Justin, finance board vice chair, and I am a voting member.
Hi, I'm Elsa. I'm a finance board rep, voting member, here at Finance.
Hi, Mohammed, voting member of finance board, medium pronouns.
Hello, I'm Elise Torre, and I'm a finance board rep and a voting member. My name is Sheena.
Hello, dude. Retriever. He, him pronouns. I don't vote.
Candace Martinez-Stone, assistant director for leadership and governance. I also serve as SG advisor. She, her pronouns. I am not a voting member.
I'm Courtney Campbell. I'm the coordinator for student organization development. I'm not a voting member, and I'm one of the finance board advisors. Hi. Oh, am I? Did I say two members? I don't know. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
Hi, I'm Nithin Prakash. I'm a finance board representative. I use she, her pronouns. I am a voting member.
Hi, I'm Logan. I use he, him pronouns. I'm best observer, so I don't vote or anything.
Dean Green, secretary for finance board, and I am not a voting member. I use
finance board. I hope it's everything you ever wanted to see. And based on that look, I understand those. So the finance board is one of the two legislative bodies of the SGA, and unlike the Senate, whose job is to focus on like campus-wide change and things they want to fix around campus, and then also serve on shared governance committees, the finance board is a lot more hands-on because we're the body that actually gives money to club organizations. So as you probably heard from our agenda, clubs come to us saying, hey, we want money, and then we say, let's think about it, and then we're like, here's your money, or you don't get any money. So that's the basis of the finance board. But the majority of what you'll see is when clubs start coming in for their Sahas requests. This is a new system that we're doing. Sahas stands for the Secondary Ad Hoc Allocation System, and it's basically a program where people can request funding for events that they weren't able to plan for their budgets, or just for like t-shirts and marketing stuff. So most of the stuff you'll see here is t-shirts and merchandise and marketing requests. Does any other finance board member want to hop on this stuff? Nothing. Justin? You want to talk about the liaison system real quick?
Yeah, so this year we have a liaison system where each of our representatives who is not the chair or vice chair all have designated clubs. These clubs can talk to the liaisons and ask basically how is it that they get funding, alternative sources of funding, or just basic advice on how they can get like allocations of money from finance.
Dave?
Maybe that on my part or?
Yeah, just say, what your goals are.
Yeah, so I'm the vice president of student organization, so I belong to the executive branch, but I also sit on the finance board as a voting member. And so a lot of what I'll do is like talking to student organizations, we do a lot of programming, support, things like that. And a lot of times it's like being an advocate for student organizations, meeting with them, kind of talking to the board about being in the org shoes, kind of seeing that viewpoint. And I guess another thing to add on about finance board, so it's an elected body, so there's 7 members who are elected directly in the spring by the student body here at SGA, and then myself and Scott are in the executive branch, and we also sit as voting members. So, so if you want finance board, there's always an opportunity to do that as well.
Do you have any questions for us right now, or are you just chilling?
So, as FYAs, what would your expectations and limitations be for them? Like, what can they get involved in? What can they do? What is something that they can't do? So, it's that balance. Like, what do you look to see out of the first position?
Justin, first, then I'll answer as well.
Oh, sure. Well, like our liaisons have office hours and appointment slots, and so I would like encourage you guys to like maybe make an appointment or go to them during those office hours or appointment slots. So let's come and ask our liaisons questions, and so like if you ever want to like just see what that interaction would be like with a representative and someone from the student body, just like discussing about plans about how they can like basically make sure the club can host this event, then I would encourage you guys to like go to it and like do it and just see how it runs.
Then as FYAs in this body, unfortunately you don't have a vote because you're not elected, but you do definitely have a voice. So during discussion periods, if there's things you'd like to say or things you'd like to bring up, you are free to do so. If you believe that we're saying the club shouldn't get funding, you think they should, you are free to explain why. You will have a full voice in this body, and they will recognize you as an equal in terms of that. The only difference would be, of course, that you just don't get a vote. And I know by the nature of our board meetings that sometimes they go short, sometimes they go long. So if you can't stay the whole time, I understand. But we would like you to show, because you do get a voice here. So express. Use that power, because right now a lot of people don't like the finance board. I don't know if you've read the Retriever articles or just been talking to any club in general, but not everyone's super happy with the board right now. So it's definitely important that you kind of like put in your voice, put in your vote, that kind of stuff. We're not going to. Candace, do you have anything you'd like to say? Oh, there is another advisor. Her name is Tori Heasley. Unfortunately, she can't be here today because she's running the workshop, but we'll get to meet her. She is also very awesome.
I think it's good advice to sit in on liaison meetings and also to come to as many of these meetings as you can. I think it's important, like if something is happening, there may not be space to ask a question about it while it's happening. there may be, like you don't understand, like you're like, "Okay, something just happened there, I don't know what it is." Maybe make a note to yourself, and then you can ask, you know, Liam or anybody else, afterwards. But I would encourage you to ask questions about process, about why finance board does the things it does. I mean, I know Liam said that lots of people don't like finance board. I think that the finance board has a hard job. But I think this group of students has to make really hard decisions about what to fund and how to fund it and how to meet the needs of the most students and student organizations, how to meet the most of the requests as they can with a limited amount of funding. And inevitably that it means that some people aren't going to get something because they don't have an unlimited amount of resources. And so that's it's a hard position to be in as a student, especially when you go to a school where lots of people know each other, right? So the work that finance board does is really important, but also really hard. So I would keep that in mind as you listen to the conversations. They're very deliberative, they're very purposeful, and it is very rare that they make a decision that is not intentional, right? That there's not a lot of thought, sometimes too much thought, behind it. But I think you all do a really good job as a board. So that's what I would say.
And Josh, I was actually wondering if you could speak a little bit as to your experience being an FYA for the finance board. So kind of how you were feeling when you first started and how you're feeling now, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So when you first start out, you're going to be like, what am I doing here? Like, what's my role? But I would say, as I said with all of your interviews, as me and Curtis said in meetings, like make the experience your own. And as much as you put into it, that's what you're going to get out of it. So if you really decide to go to liaison meetings, if you decide to be active in these meetings on Tuesday nights, then you're going to have a fruitful experience. Otherwise, you're not. So make the most out of the hours that you're here because you don't want this to be time wasted. You know, and the point of the first year ambassador program is to get you experience in all the different bodies of SGA. This is just one body that you get to witness firsthand. So make the most out of this experience, make the most out of this opportunity.
Justin?
So I don't know if you mentioned this, but next week, that's when the real fund begins because spring budget requests will be coming in. And we'll also be deciding on Newsweek for a second time in the week. So I'm also going to prepare us to come to those. I believe we're set for Fridays at 5:38, but we're going to discuss that all later.
So yeah, as Josh said, it's really kind of what you're doing. I know sometimes it might not seem like the most exciting thing, or maybe not all the actions happening, but it is very important. And I think you should exercise your powers to be able to speak because not everyone can handle the budget system and how that works out, but you kind of get to be there to experience that. Right. We're gonna, if you guys have any questions for us right now, or if you want to just keep going. All right, we're gonna start looking over the Sahas requests. Did everyone get a chance to look over the 5 original Sahas requests that were in the survey? All right, we're gonna quickly go over the ones that were just added into the new version of the agenda. So, Dean, if you could open up the Sahas requests for Astronomy Club 45 and 46. 45 is an on-campus expenditure for one of their events. I believe this is a speaker. Yeah, they're having a guest speaker come in to talk about astronomy stuff. We can head down. So they're coordinating with the physics department, and if you want to go down just the funding amount that they're requesting. Requesting $100 in food and drink for this event. And did everyone get a chance to look over? Does anyone have any questions they would like to bring up to the board now about this event? Since when astronomy or if astronomy
45 and 46 are both the requests from their budget that
Yes.
were not approved.
That is correct.
And this is based off Michael and our vote to see their budget request through Teresa Haas, since they met the qualifications laid out at the last meeting.
That is correct.
Is he probably like grocery?
Yeah. Adam Harvey, wasn't he the vice president of the GSA
Possibly.
last year? Alright, that's roll for you. This is an end of the year manufacturer movie screening. So it's at 30, doing marketing through usual channels, costing $45
To do what?
for food and drink. The normal marketing is going to be through their Facebook, Instagram, and then through my UMBC post as well.
And they're collaborating with their department for both of these as well, so I'm not getting the full picture. We should just make sure that it's more than that, and the departments are probably doing
Yes. We can ask them that, but I believe that they are. And then another one that was recently added on was Retriever Poets.
Which number?
I need to scroll it down. 11. You could have clicked on anything on that line except the arrow. This is a merchandise and marketing fund request for t-shirts for Retriever Poets. Simple club t-shirt one if you want to open up the attachment. It's their design. Shirts are under $10. I believe they're requesting, I want to say $273.30.
Yeah, that's the exact pricing if you multiply it by 30.
So it's essentially section.
Big brain plays. It's called reading. So yeah, that's how much they're requesting for their stuff. So it falls in line with everything I believe.
Just the,
I don't know.
was the shirt, the one.
I believe it does. It doesn't look like the font from the official UMBC logo, and it's not using the dog, so I believe it falls within our guidelines. One that's currently in your request queues right now is the Pre-Optometry Society, and that one I believe there might be issue with. But all of these objectively, they should be good in terms of image guidelines. And then we already talked about the matter. Did everyone get a chance to look over the Rock Climbing Club request? T-shirts, this is 34. That we're just going to go through all of them real quick. That way, one club, so everyone can hopefully crank through them. Rock Climbing Club is requesting T-shirts. Requesting $200. I actually think I had a question about this one, but if you want to go ahead and open that up. It's $19.80 for their 18 items, so you'd only be able to fund $10 for that. They have to make the $9.80 on their own. The other question I was going to ask is why they have 18 items in there, and not 20. But it's not like a huge issue.
Will it change the price? I guess not.
It might make it cheaper, but I don't think it's going to bring it down to 10. Yes.
Oh, we had to know somewhere.
Can you go to the review section, please? Next application. No.
On the medium
Up. There we go.
Wait, this is also right.
Wait.
This is the wrong one. You're gonna have to.
Yeah. So we're allowed to fund them like $10 a shirt, right?
That's correct.
And only 18 people are like listed, so wouldn't it only come out to 180?
Yeah, their request said 20 to 100. That's why I'd like them to explain if they're gonna request for 20 shirts, and that's where they're gonna 200, or if they're only requesting 18.
That's all my notes say.
Alright, and then let's go for, dog collar comedy is still, yes.
This is just a general question, like why do like the songs or like requests like disappear after a certain, like after I review them, are they supposed to disappear from my dashboard?
They'll disappear from your dashboard when we move them from the finance board review stage to the finance board vote record. And I do that every Tuesday at 5 p.m.
Okay, so we're only supposed to have like 3 in our dashboard?
That's right now, yes.
Okay.
Because they can't be in your review dash and then in the vote record here. But since we vote on it during the meetings, every minute before the meeting starts, I'll move all the ones that should have been reviewed out of vote record, or out of review stage and then into vote record. That way you can vote on them during the meeting.
Got it.
Which is also your incentive to look at them early. And then if you want to go ahead and dog collar comedy, I have them on our agenda, but if they are coming in with their new design that's going to work, if they are still using their old design, we don't believe we've gotten anything back on that.
I have an email with their new design.
Oh, you do?
you do?
I do. So I was just trying to make sure that it met the logo standards, but I didn't believe I saw any issues. So
If you want to go ahead and just. Could you forward this email to the finance commissioner's office or just to my email? That way we can forward it on here. Just.
That's the old one. That's the old one.
Didn't forget about mine. Oh yeah, Adobe Acrobat.
This year.
Probably should show up soon. What voice I have? Then open up the second attachment, or no, you can actually. This is what it looks like currently. Dog collar comedy, your UMBC improv, they fit within branding guidelines.
Yeah, that's great. Perfect.
I think ship the price just right next to it. Alright, so yeah, that would be the new design. So if they come into the end, then that's the design that we'll be voting on. And then Black Lives Matter still has to get back to us on individual t-shirt costs. Something that if they're ordering the direct one from last time, the cost should be the same as last time, but I don't know if Carly maintained those records or not. So.
What was the place that they're ordering it from? Is that approved?
Blue shirts?
I mean, they're allowed to buy it from wherever they want.
Well, it has to be approved by the university.
For what?
That they don't use like child labor.
Yeah, basically.
Well, that'll be something that they'll figure out way,
Okay.
they require when they go to buy it. Yeah,
Blue shirts, cross-border shopping.
stop it. I don't know if that's the right word. Slander.
So those are all the requests that I believe we are going over today. We're kind of just gonna wait for her to come in, but while we wait for the root to come in, we're gonna go ahead and move forward with the Golden Grades discussion. So I'll turn the floor over to Elise if you wanna talk about that.
I met with Global Grades yesterday evening, and basically, I think we just wanted to express their concern over them like not receiving funding for a very long time, because I think their priorities have been like international flights, and they did tell me that they have like a bunch of leaders from all the different like
global brigades come last year to express like how they were feeling, and basically like all they told me was that they got rejection, so they didn't really get money for everything, and like their reasoning was like precedents that have been set. So I was just talking to them, and they wanted to meet with me because they didn't want to ask for money for this semester, because they think that they're not going to receive any funding for like anything. So like even though they say that okay, sure, like we don't want to ask for just international flights, but like materials for them to go on trips, or just like a little bit of help, because I was just they were explaining to me like even though it is like a service organization, and like generally we don't really like fund, right, service organizations, but they were explaining how even though they are a service organization, like going on these trips gives them an opportunity for them to practice what they're learning like in their careers, like through what they're learning in school, and do hands-on experience. So I feel like that is kind of like benefiting the students in a way. But they were just asking me if I could just bring up like is there any way that we can be considered for any funding for like flights internationally, or they had another idea, because I said we don't fund for international flights, so the idea of like flying to like Florida or like a different state, and they asked if that would be better for them to receive like at least a little bit of funding for flights, or just like if they have any chance of getting materials like gloves or stethoscopes, all that stuff, because they did say like if they were to get flights, they get discounts, because the global brigades, like people in different countries, offer them discounts through airline companies. So they were just telling me that, and I don't know, they were like very upset because they really want to go out, and I like told them, or they told me that they've also been trying to fundraise, and like it's a lot to just fundraise internationally, and like they try really hard, like they each raise like $1,000. Like that's a lot to raise for one person. So I don't really know. I don't know.
I mean, so when they want flights to like other parts of the state, are they going for conferences or retreats? Because I'm looking at the request they made for this semester, and one of them was for like retreats. And it seems like these retreats are like preparing members to get ready to leave the country.
It's not, that one was just.
Sorry. I was just gonna ask something after you're done talking.
Oh, okay. So they told me, so they submitted that just as a test to see if they would receive anything. And I said, they put it as a general body meeting. So I said, I'm pretty sure that's why you didn't get funding, because you listened to the general body meeting, but they said that was a test to see if finance board would like fund.
I mean, Elisa, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm not even asking so much, but like, I just know in context, so last spring they did come to us, in terms of asking for, like a large portion of the money was for international flights, and traditionally, finance board has not funded international flights just because international flights, usually had exuberant costs in terms of like, I know one group was going to Ghana, and I think another one was going to Panama, so it's just a large amount, like, just in our precedents, we just say we don't fund international travel. I mean, I know that's like the context, so I know that that's probably where they're coming from, and I know like last year, I think a few of the items were also funded, but like you said, a lot of, since it is a service org, like a lot of the stuff that was like supposed to be given away and things like that, I don't believe we funded, but that's kind of just like a little like, background on past interactions that come with finance board.
I mean, I always honestly, my recommendation to them would be to submit and to not say no to themselves by not submitting. You see what I'm saying? Like if they don't submit, they close the door on themselves. to get anything. So my recommendation would be for them to ask for all of the things that they need and then allow for finance board to make a decision. Because if they don't ask, then they're saying no for finance board. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, the worst that finance board can say is no, but if they don't ask, they're never gonna get a yes.
It's 100% of the shots.
Right, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, I would say for you, well, I can empathize with their frustration. I don't think it should stop them from continuing to ask. And to allow finance board, well, I know that can feel really frustrating and sort of banging their head against the wall, like, that, if they don't ask, they'll never get a yes.
If I remember correctly, during their budget submission sheet for the fall semester, they listed like bus travel, but gave no definitive number.
Yeah.
So I remember there was a question mark in that box for really long.
Yeah, I mean, I think you, and if you, like, or if you need more support, other finance board members can sit with them and fill out the application so that they are doing it the right, making sure that they're checking all the boxes, giving all the information that they need so that y'all can make an educated decision about what they're asking for. But they just need to ask for everything they want and then let you all make a decision.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess, big part of like why they weren't funded is for off campus, there wasn't really any information listed as to what they needed in terms of funding, because it just said that a bus is needed for transportation. We had no idea the means really of the bus or any information regarding that. I think the on-campus event it was basically funding food before they went to there's funding for the retreat. And that was really big because, like, as we've done with other orgs, since it's specifically for their members only, to go on the retreat before going on their trip, and it's for food, and we don't fund food for things that are specifically for GBMs, since regardless of whether they put us a GBM or not, it is specifically for their members to eat, to have the retreat and have food before going, so.
Justin?
I mean, I definitely understand the frustration. I feel like though, because it was a test, it's hard for us to like gauge exactly what they want funding for, because
well, they gave me like a rough estimate.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying like what they submitted in the fall, like I wouldn't like tell them that that test was like probably the best way to see what finance board would do in a situation like that, just because like they filled out all the wrong boxes. But in terms of like if they want like retreats within the country, like for like events on campus, I think like we can help them out there. But yeah, we just can't fund them for airfare outside the continental United States.
That's for your budgetary statutes?
Yes, 8.17.
Yeah, so I mean,
We love citations.
you tell them what they could get funded for, and make sure they ask for that. Don't say, you don't, so, yeah.
Alright, Black Lives Matter was scheduled to come in 3 minutes ago, but they have not. And considering that their legislation and this House course they submitted had a design but no actual proof for how much each shirt would cost, just their word for it, I'm not comfortable voting to give them any money. Simply because they're basically not telling us how much it costs. So I don't know what I'm giving money to or what we're giving money to, and I'm not comfortable with doing that. So
Something has to do with that thing where you're putting
Black Lives Matter?
That's DFC, Scott.
he's starting.
So because of that, until or unless Black Lives Matter sends that information, I move to table Black Lives Matter.
Second.
Justin, you have something to say first?
Oh no.
Alright, all in favor of tabling Black Lives Matter, please raise your hand now. Opposed? Alright, the motion carries.
Can you send another one?
I'm gonna send an email saying that if they don't come in next week or tonight, because it's been 4 weeks and we've reached out to them every single week. They have not come in or provided any emails or responses back, and we're gonna remove them. Basically, if they don't come next week, then this table will be an indefinite table. So we're going to Astronomy Club. This is FBL's 107, 110, 111. We're going to start with a t-shirt request. So see if you can open up the legislation for 107 along with this House request. So we'll open that. I'm really sorry that we didn't do it yet.
No, it's fine. I'm getting used to it, so.
Well, we can rewrite out your name next time. It's all set. But if you do want to go write your name, and then introduce yourself. We have a couple new, we have a couple FIAs, so first year ambassadors that kind of sit and listen. So if you want to introduce yourself to them, and if you'd like them to introduce themselves to you as well.
Okay. I'm Ari Kasich. I'm the treasurer of the Astronomy Club. My pronouns are she, her, and hers.
Who would introduce yourself?
My name's Mayla.
My name's Joshua. I'm the club advisor for the FIA program.
I'm Jen. I'm not ready.
My name's Ira. I'm also an employee of student.
I'm Sahar. I'm also a fly for the FFA.
Alright, if you want to go ahead and open up this last request. This is a request for t-shirts. If I understand correctly, it's a total of 300 and the cost was a little bit over, but the max you know you can get is 300. So
Yeah.
So if you want to go ahead and if you'd like to speak real quick about that, you can get 1 or 2 minutes to kind of respect to the board your t-shirt request.
Yeah. So every year we do T-shirts, and our club has grown significantly from like previous years. So I know we put that our total was $342. We know we can only get 300 though. We just thought like it might be useful to include like the total. But yeah, we plan on like covering that extra just with funds in our carryover accounts. But yeah, we just have a tradition of doing T-shirts, and we think it's like good advertising for our club and also for UMBC. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
We'll go ahead and move into discussion. Or does anyone have any questions for the org this time? All right, we're going to go ahead and move into discussion. You already know how discussion works, but I'm still going to say it for the sake of saying it. During this time, finance board representatives and ex-official members can speak amongst themselves, kind of debate. And again, if you hear anything that you feel is off, take a note of it. You'll be given a chance to respond afterwards. This is the time for the finance board representatives to kind of just discuss and debate the merits of the request. All right. I'm going to go ahead and open up discussion. Does anyone have any points they'd like to add in?
I mean, is the UMBC logo like that right? Everything's part of that.
Yeah, that's another show, so I think it's good. I see no issue with the request. They know what they can request. They're requesting the max.
Yep.
Falls in line with everything else we've done so far. I don't have any points I'd like to add in.
Is the price say $8.50 times 40?
So yeah, so we can fund up to 300 of that, of the total of 342. I think our only issue is that we can't fund anything more than $10 per item. We can't fund more than 300 total.
Isn't 856 times 40 would be like 42?
That's what you're
No, we're only giving them 300. We're not giving them 342.
Yeah, we can only give 300, but that would be the max stuff.
It looks cool. We can fund it at 300, so let's do it.
All right. Legislation. We're going to go ahead and, are there any other points? If not, I'd like to move previous question and debate. All right. Do you have anything you'd like to answer or respond to?
Not really.
All right. Thank you.
No, we're doing, I was gonna report.
Understood. But first, Dean Farm legislation, I'd like to introduce FBL 107-1920, approval of the UMBC Astronomy Club's Fall 2019 Secondary Ad Hoc System request, or Ad Hoc Allocation System request, for the amount of $300. We've linked the SurveyMonkey kind of thing there instead of the attachments. That way it can be referred back to in the SurveyMonkey system. But yeah, I'd like to introducing FBL 107-1920. Is there a motion on the floor?
Move to approve FBL 107-1920. in the amount of $300.
Second.
Alright, anyone like to register an abstention?
Because I will be in the street.
Understood, we accept the reason. Are there any other abstentions at this time? Alright, all in favor of approving FPL 107-1920, please raise your hands now. All opposed? The motion carries. Congratulations, you got your shirts.
Thank you.
But please don't leave yet, because you submitted 2 more requests that we're gonna go through here. So Dean, if you can record those tallies and then open up FVBR 45 for the on-campus event and open up FBL 110-1920.
Were there 2 or there? Oh, wait, no, what?
Yes.
Did you want Dean to record it in?
We're gonna do that now.
You're gonna do that?
Yeah, so we're recording it on the legislature, so now that we have the tally, and then we're gonna go in here and he's gonna do that as we're hearing the request.
A lot of things in addition to the minutes. Take that with me.
Just have it open. I'll fill in the request information. But if you're going to open up, just have 110 open up. And then this I wanted to
Hello.
Hello?
Oh, come on. You want to write your name on the board?
Okay.
Or it would. So this is the request for Adam Harvey to come in and speak about galactic nuclei, which sounds pretty cool. I don't know what it is.
Oh, what?
Galactic nuclei, according to the request. I have no idea what it is. It sounds really science.
It basically is like anything that's in the middle of like a galaxy, so like a black hole or like there's just like a bunch of different like I won't get into it, but it's like there's like a field of research that is around it. So.
All right. So would you guys like to first give your 1 to 2 minute feel for this event and reason why you're requesting it, where the funds are going, all that kind of stuff, advertising your collaborations.
Yeah. So this event, it's on November 21st. We're having a guest speaker from our own physics department come and speak about his research on active galactic nuclei. We originally included the budget for this event in our budget for the fall, but unfortunately our budget didn't pass. As many of you probably know, we just messed up some of the paperwork there. So yeah, the cost for that we're asking for this event is just $100, and it's going to cover like food and just drinks, and as well as like dining ware or like plates, and I don't know if dining ware is the correct word. I'm just what it's in there. Okay. But yeah, we just want to kind of make the event a little bit more like special by having like food and drinks, and also to show gratitude for our guest speaker for taking the time to come.
Alright. So does anyone have any questions for the organization regarding this event this time?
I mean, how do you plan to advertise your event?
So we have social media accounts. We put Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we also are going to put it up on MyUMBC. We've started to be more active with MyUMBC this year. In previous years, we just used like Facebook or Instagram, but now we're back. Since the MyUMBC system was changed, we're using MyUMBC to upload like our flyers and that's there as well.
Any other questions for the org this time? Scott?
This one you said you're requesting Peapod and introduce yourself.
For this one, I think we said that we would just get stuff through Peapod. Yeah.
And the department's covering all the other costs, that's what's just
So there aren't any other costs that we have for this event, so the department doesn't.
What's Peapod?
It's like a food delivery.
It's giant food delivery.
Yeah.
That's how they order stuff like groceries for CBSC.
Need giant marshmallows delivered to you. we're gonna go ahead and move to discussion. You guys already know how discussion works, so this time I'm not gonna say. So I'd like to open up the floor for discussion regarding this request. Does anyone have any points they'd like to make right now? Scott?
I guess the department's providing the space, the audiovisual, or everything necessary for the presentation to take place. It's advertised on my UMBC. I think everything's adequate. As the subject matter is confusing enough that we need to talk about. So I say we approve it.
Anyone else have any discussion points like that? Michael?
I think this discussion is open to the UMBC community. It's a great opportunity for members of the community to learn some interesting stuff about Black Why. So I definitely see this event as something that the community is gaining positive. So I would definitely also step in from this event.
Any other discussion points? Everyone's good? All right, I'd like to move previous question. All right. Do you guys have anything you'd like to add this time? All right. With that being said, what's the total amount for this one? $100. I'd like to introduce FBL 110-1920, approval of the Astronomy Club's second Fall 2019 Secondary Ad Hoc Allocation System request for the amount of $100 to be approved. Is there a motion on the floor?
Move to approve FBL 110-1920.
So Michael tried to say both of them, but y'all cut them off. Would anyone like to register any abstentions at this time? All right. All in favor, please raise your hands now. All right. All opposed? 8 for, 0 against, 1 abstention. The motion carries. Congratulations, you're first amendment funded.
Thank you.
But we're not done. So please do so. Oh, wait, there's one. Dean, if you could open up FBL 111-1920 and open the cost request of FBBR Sony 046. Yeah, it's the thing for all students. All right, so this is the end of the semester movie night that is being requested for Astronomy Club. This is for a movie. They have to go to the department for it. They're requesting $75 for food and drink, if I remember correctly. But if you guys like to say something about the event, why you're hosting it, what's the benefit for, how we advertise, all that kind of stuff, you have 2 minutes.
Right. So likewise with all our other events, it goes up on various social media platforms, including our My UMBC page. The movie screening is a special event that we have at the end of each semester to help, not only help people like prepare to relax for finals, but it's also a good way for us to go over different topics that we've covered throughout the semester. We've noticed that when we do the movie screenings at the end of the semester, like for example, when we watched The Martian, like we had nights where we talked about like Mars and like spacecraft, and then it gave our members like a different perspective on the movie, because it wasn't just, oh, it's a sci-fi movie. It's like, oh, we talked about this stuff like throughout the semester. So that's definitely a huge plus for us, especially since we're trying to be a more interdisciplinary club, not just like computer science and physics and engineering. So it's great for us to see that for all members of the UMBC community, regardless of their major, that they've all learned something about space, and that it's less boring for them throughout the semester.
All right. Are there any questions for the organization regarding this event this time?
So for kind of precedent that's been set for all the parties that request movie screenings is that we want to ensure that the movie screening adheres to the terms of whatever platform or whatever you guys are going to be using to show the movie. Are you guys providing the movie, or is it through the department? Or okay. And you adhere to like the terms of service or whatever. But Candace, you want to add anything on?
Yeah, so typically for movies that you show at an event, you have to pay licensing fees. So that's what Scott is asking. Yeah, is that you understand that, and for money to fund that, because typically, it can range from anywhere from $250 to $500 to get the rights to screen a movie that's not like just finished in theaters, like it's like 10 years old. So that is what Scott is trying to get at.
Because like Netflix and Hulu or whatever may not allow you to show things from your individual account to like at an event or something. That's why SEB has to pay licensing fees for things they show. So.
So they just want you to, Scott just wants you to know that.
Okay.
I think also if your department is providing the movie, then that's like a different situation, or if you like get the movie from the UMBC library or something like that. If you get to the library, then I believe you go to Candace correctly.
Typically, the educational rule is that if it's attached to a syllabus, then that's my understanding, is that it has, like, professors and teachers can show films that are attached to a syllabus without paying the licensing fee. But outside of that,
Just keep that in mind.
just keep that in mind.
And work with your advisor, the department
Come back.
to find pronunciation. But other than that, I can say.
Are there any other questions for the org at this time? All right, hearing no questions, we're going to move into a discussion period. So I'd like to open discussion on this request. Does anyone have anything they'd like to say?
Where's the you gone from?
Keep on. Michael?
I have no issues with this request. I feel kind of the same way I felt about the last request. I think it is definitely giving back to the UMBC community. Since this is going to be during finals time, it's a difficult time for everyone involved, and you know, it's a good thing for the club to try to, I guess, ease members of the club and other members of the UMBC community stress or tension through the showing of the movie. So I have no issue with fully funding.
Scott?
If it's for $45 and they're getting a 3D pod, I think 3D pod requires a $60 minimum. So they might have to.
They may add it on, like sometimes they combine org requests. Or,
Other than that, I think it's fine. I agree.
Any other discussion points? I'd like to move previous question.
Second.
All right. Do you guys have anything you'd like to add on at this time? All right. You can pull the FPL. I'd like to introduce FPL 111-1920, approval again of the Astronomy Club's Fall 2019 secondary AFOG system or allocation system request for the total amount of $45. Is there a motion on the floor?
Move to approve FBL 111-1920.
Second.
Would I like to register an abstention at this time? All right. All in favor of approving FBL 111-1920 for the amount of $45, please raise your hand now. All opposed? You'll be abstaining. Abstention, exhaust. Actually, no, we have an absent category. I'm done. All right. So, what's that? 7-4, 0 against, 1 abstention, 1 absent. The motion carries. Congratulations. Scott, if you could walk on next to how to get Thank you guys very much for coming in. I'll be in a little bit. And yeah, Scott will help explain how you can get all of your lines and funds. Was there further discussion on the gates issue that you wanted to bring up? Does anyone have anything I'd like to move to reopen that? Or we're pretty much done with our goal.
So they're not planning to submit anything for the spring either?
Well, they wanted me to like mention it before to see if there was a chance of
gloves and like stethoscopes? What?
Yeah. That's fine.
So yeah, like in the past for like, was it for us, it's been like stuff like that, so like such they use, like through their like clinics or whatever, or whatever they're setting up. And,
Yeah.
they request like that, it's sort of like packages, I know they were on some for.
Like gloves, stethoscopes, and rest journals, pens.
Can we fund them though?
Like vaccines? I don't think we did because it's like a personal.
Also, wouldn't that fall under equipment committee? Or
Some of it would be one-time use stuff, right, like,
You're not reusing it.
but also like, I think the conversation was around like, who's it benefit, right? That was a conversation last year, who's it benefit? Stuff that the students are using when they go on a trip, but it's not benefiting the UMBC students, it's benefiting the people that they're going to certain groups. So, that was what the conversation was last year.
You're good.
I would recommend they, submit a request for the list of shares that you get. And then tell them, thank you so much for coming. Miss you. Thank you guys for coming. We hope to see you next week. I'll try and bring some candy. So Rock Climbing Club is scheduled to come in about 5 minutes ago. We haven't, but we're gonna go ahead and go with their requests. I think they put in all the correct information they need, so I'm fine with just voting on it. If you could open that up, it is FBOE, the request number is 34. For UMBC's Rock Climbing Club, they're requesting club t-shirts. Oh wait, this is the one where they're requesting
wait, what?
We just need to know what
Yeah, so in their invoice, they indicated 18 items, but in the request, they're saying they want 20, so we were gonna ask to cover that discrepancy.
Well, logo looks fine.
Yeah, I think the logo is good.
That's what I have in all this stuff.
We finished up with the rates discussion. Good idea, you wanna head on to that?
I don't think we should fund international flights. That's very expensive. I think the precedent from last year was continental United States.
It's not precedent, it's actually in the budgetary
Oh.
policy.
The budgetary side should say that, so I think we should follow our guiding documents.
Thank you. So we can vote on this request right now for the $200 and then indicate in our notes and rationale that would go to SABSC that this must be spent for 20 shirts for $10 per item. And if they're only requesting 18 shirts, then you would only let them spend $180. Yes.
I disagree. I think we should just fund at 180 because that's the information we have. If they were here and could provide other information, I would say 200, but this is the information we have.
So they asked for 20, but this says 18.
So
Yeah.
in their thing, they said, and I quote, club t-shirts are very important in creating club unity, yada, yada, yada. We estimate $200 will be needed as we have at least 20 people interested in buying shirts, and the max cost indicated by SGA was $10 per person.
Why wouldn't you go off the 20 number?
Because the documentation provided says 18 in their card.
The documentation also provides this 20.
Wait, what?
That's what they typed out, 20.
Yeah, but that's a screenshot of their card, so I think I would trust that more than the 200 up there. If they were here, they could table it if we wanted to, but I'm sure it'd be better to.
Also, they say plenty of buy insurance.
Yeah, they can't pay for shirts, how we pay for it.
Yeah, they can't install them.
Right, I think.
Right, well, I think they're talking about like people want shirts, right?
Yeah.
So somebody has to cover the cost, the difference, right? So individual student would cover the cost of the
Yeah.
difference.
You can't.
Well, I think there's.
They're not selling it for $20.
Oh,
They're
Yeah.
saying,
Can
if
you open
you
that up
want
again?
a shirt, you can cover this. SGA pays for 10, want one, you gotta pony up 90. That's not selling the shirts, because they're not making profit.
It'd be selling it at cost, but it wouldn't be like, oh, we had SGA pay for our shirts, now we're gonna sell it to the general public.
Correct.
It'd be a rate.
That's
And if it
Student,
costs
yeah,
themselves
they
shirts,
can
then-
do that.
They do that?
They can do that, because they're not making money off of it. The thing is that you can't sell things that SGA funds, because what that's saying is you can't sell things to then make a profit off of the things that SGA funds.
You're like funding a fundraiser.
Right, this is not a fundraiser, right? They're saying SGA funded half the cost.
If you would like a shirt.
If you want to have a shirt, it's gonna cost you 90, because that's the other half. That's completely fine.
Actually, yeah, now that's bringing that up, I do have additional questions, because it's 90 right now, but if you fund it at 200, I'm pretty sure cost decreases in increments of 10, at least on customers.
That's true. Did they say they were gonna come in?
I didn't get a response from them, but we sent them an email on Friday.
Okay, so maybe you can table it and then ask them your question and see what kind of information we get.
Just.
We keep tabling all these discussions.
It did.
I think we
Like,
should.
we know we're gonna have, like, cause we have like a huge beast next week to tackle, like.
Yeah, we did.
We got, like.
Plus 3 Sahasa classes. So, and again, the decision's on you guys, in terms of whether you wanna table it or whether you wanna vote on it. It just be whatever you vote on. But Scott, you have something more to say?
So do y'all wanna, I think we should vote tonight. Is everybody kind of on board with that one?
I agree. I think that we should just fund for the 18 shirts, because that's all we have.
18, so voting at 180 or 200?
That would be voting at money.
So do you wanna take a vote on what you wanna vote on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
You know
think
where
the
we're
first
going
vote
with
is
this.
vote for better table, and then second is 200 or 180.
Alright, we'll straw poll that, and then if we can, well, I'll straw poll whether or not we want to vote on it or not, and then if not, I'm gonna introduce legislation, and we can amend it from there. So straw poll in terms of in favor of tabling or voting on it tonight, all in favor of voting on it tonight, please raise your hands. All in favor of tabling it? Well, that was easy. Alright, could you, Dean, could you open up FBL 108? Alright, I'll introduce FBL 108, approve with the UMBC Rock Island Cubs Fall 2019 secondary ad hoc allocation system request for the amount of $200. Is there a motion on the floor regarding this piece of legislation?
Move to amend the legislation to be funded at $180.
Is there a second?
Second.
Alright. All in favor of all in favor of amending this legislation to change the amount of 200 to 180, please raise your hands now. All opposed? Alright.
Do you want to talk about it before, because you didn't say anything.
I mean, I think 200 for the same reason that you think 180, so it's kind of.
We should argue that before we vote, because then you can persuade other people.
Yeah, you didn't say.
I mean, Candace basically said my thought.
Yeah.
I don't think if people agree, like, I mean, I think Candace is a more precise person than I am, but, I mean, I don't think it's my goal to persuade people. I mean, if I say you guys wanna vote, I just disagree and think it should be the 20 because of the way that it's written in their request, so. But if you guys wanna fund it,
Would you like to move to open discussion and to go on debate?
You already voted.
I mean, it's a pretty simple.
And if somebody else wants to re-amend the legislation, they can, but it's 180 right now.
Would anyone like to make changes to this document as is? Alright, is there a motion on the floor regarding this request?
Move to approve FBL 11920 as amended.
Second. Alright, would anyone like to register any abstentions? Okay, all in favor of approving FBL 108-1920, please raise your hands now. Alright, all opposed? And then, 6-4, 2 against, 1 abstaining, the motion carries. Excuse me, how to write this thing.
I was 2 against.
Yay. I don't know if you guys ever got to go out and see their show, but it was surprisingly good. It was really, really good.
I did think
I encourage you to go out to some of their shows. But with Noah, is someone coming down?
Wait.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah.
Take time for making me play. We'll do some introduction.
If you could open up FPL 109-1920, request 10. Welcome to the Finance Board. I know it's late, so thank you very much for coming. We're going to start by going around for a round of introductions so that you kind of know who everyone is, who's voting, so you kind of understand who you're appealing to. And then after that, you'll be given time to talk about your vote request. So we're going to start with introductions. Scott, you want to start?
Scott Buchanan, SGA Treasurer, Ethan, my own voting member.
Hey, Perry Vinner. I'm a representative from Dog Collar Comedy, the treasurer, and he's a he, him.
I'm Nathan Prakash from the Finance Board Representative.
I'm Courtney Campbell. I'm on the Finance Board of Finance Services, coordinator for school board.
Candace Martinez Gomez, Assistant Director for Leadership and Governance, Social Service SGA Advisor. She has pronouns. I'm not a vote.
Bill Jude, retriever, he, him, I don't know.
Hello, I'm Liz Troy, and I'm a finance board representative, also representative of she.
I'm Sahar, I'm part of the FY program. I go by she and her pronouns, and I do not vote.
Hi, I'm Mohammed Khalid. I'm a finance board rep and a voting member as well.
Hi, I'm Melissa May. I'm a finance board rep and a voting member.
Hello, I'm Justin Towner, Finance Board Vice Chair, voting member.
I'm Taylor, the FA program, she, her, and I do not vote.
I'm Laura, I'm also on the FI program, she, her pronouns.
Hi, Zig Hopper, Vice President of Student Organizations, he, him, and
Hi, Michael Chapman, Finance Board Representative, I vote.
And then my name's Liam Kim. I'm the chair of the Finance Board. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a voting member. And finally,
Dean Green, Secretary for Finance Board. I use he and pronouns. I have not voted.
so you've requested money for t-shirts. So if you want to go ahead and give a quick 1 to 2 minute spiel on your request, teach us about it, that kind of stuff for the board.
Okay, sure, yeah. So, a couple years ago, last semester, Dog Collar Comedy, we got no new shirts for all the incoming members, and we have an election-based system, a tryout, essentially. And it was really disappointing when we had a large group of new kids come in and they didn't get a shirt for the entire year. And it looked really odd when the veteran members had their shirts on, but the newbies just had plain old black t-shirts. And you know, I really don't want to continue that trend of not giving the new kids the Dog Collar Comedy logo shirt. And so we ran into a problem recently, but I think I got resolved today where the UMBC name UMBC wasn't on the shirt. I have fixed that and I shared it with Michael over there. I don't think I've shared that with the board. Okay, so there it is. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, you can see clearly UMBC is underneath the comedy. And we were able to find it at $9.37 per t-shirt. This price did change from the last time I submitted a request, but not by a substantial amount. That's like over the $300 threshold for the secondary allocation budget for the t-shirts. I believe it's a reasonable price. I have the measurements put down for each of the newbies so that they are specifically sized for them. 3 smalls, 5 mediums, 5 larges, 1 extra large, and that should cover the entire troop that we have currently. And I think it would mean a lot if we gave these shirts to the Dog Collar Comedy team. And it would just look really good for our university as well to have like a standardized uniform for Dog Collar to perform on, because then people will know it's the UMBC improv team. So yeah, a little spiel.
All right. Are there any questions for the organization at this time? Go ahead.
Has this t-shirt vendor been like approved by SABSC, do you know?
I actually do not know that. I'm very sorry about that. I didn't know it was a prerequisite, but we had to run it by FABS beforehand. Sorry. If not,
Okay. Is that advertised?
That's ABS, yeah.
So yeah, there are certain, like SMBS
Okay,
is
so
those
actually-
certain companies, organizations that do it. It's like the standardized check if it meets the university's policy. So, for example, make sure you're not using a t-shirt company that like uses child labor.
Yeah, of course.
It's the
Yeah.
standard checks. So that's the reason why we're doing this. I know Custom Ink and a couple others are like approved by the university for use and it's been checked.
Okay.
Don't know about is this blue shirts. But I'm still doing it.
I don't think that's gonna affect your request, but if they're not approved by SABSC, you'll have to find a different vendor at the same amount, such as. Okay.
Are there any other questions for the organization? All right, at this moment, the finance board is going to go into a period of discussion. During this time, only finance board representatives and exhibition members can talk and discuss the issue. That way we can kind of, get a handle on how everyone's feeling about this. During this time, you won't be allowed to respond, but if you make notes of the things that you hear, if you hear something that's like off or something you think we've misinterpreted your words, feel free to take note and you'll give an opportunity after discussion to address points of issues that you've heard.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and enter the period of discussion at this moment. Does anyone have any points they'd like to make start out with? Michael? And then Elise?
I see no issue with this request. We funded many other organizations for t-shirts. So I see no issue with funding Dog Collar Comedy for the total of 131, 114 for the shirt. So, please.
And I'd like to point out that the amount requested on the sheet originally was 108.13. That cost has now increased to 131 something. So a question I'd like to pose to the board this time is, since they have changed it, but the only reason why they were forced to change it was because we told them they had to change it, are you comfortable with allocating the amount that they've requested in their secondary request here, or would you like to remain it at the 108.13 that was originally requested?
I have no issue with funding that at 131, 14.
How many shirts? That is 14 shirts.
That's fine.
And so it follows our policy, budgetary policy about funding the shirt, so it's still underneath of it, so I have absolutely no issue.
I just got a straw poll, so, those, being okay with funding it at 131, please raise your hands now. All right, and then those who prefer to be the 108.15. Cool, that was easy. All right, are there any other discussion points regarding this club at this time? If not, there's one other thing I'd like to add in, which would be considering the situation of we don't know whether or not their vendor's approved. If we fund this at the amount, it's not enough. I don't know if you guys are okay with them coming back and asking for the additional to make up for it. I think Sahas has also kind of built that emergency system. So personally, since it's an amendment to our legislation, I would be okay with it, but I also want to get your thoughts on that in case that is an issue that comes up. Especially since I would rather not spend time talking about it during our budgetary meetings.
Just look it up now if we want to.
Do they have those for stuff?
You just have to find the right.
Custom Ink is approved.
No, it's not an approved list. You just have to find, if you use a new vendor, you have to find the section that's like, we do not use yada, yada, yada. And on their website, so you can just look at the website for this company.
You know what the university requirements are for what they have to not use. Get it out. Thank you so much for coming. We hope to see you next week. Sorry for the delay. I'll make sure everything's good.
Yeah. If it's not an approved shirt, I'm sorry, this is like out of the register.
No, well,
If I could quickly put in Custom Ink and see what that price would be, would the board allow me to say what price it would be on Custom Ink?
Yes.
Because I can easily do that. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to check that with your new design. This would be good, we'll approve it as this, but good to have all the information.
Yeah, I don't.
Actually. This entire row just said no.
So you
Figure it. Alright.
But I mean, if someone wants to double check that, they can, but.
Candace, if I wanted to add in supported documentation to this request, since when it goes to SABSC,
They don't see that, what is that information?
I don't see that, they just see the numbers in total.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not,
Just making sure, 'cause I don't know if we have to re-upload or change things because of the request.
I don't know what the question is. Is there a question?
There's one.
It was,
About attached documentation.
yeah, is the thing we sent with the rationale, would they have to change anything considering that we made them change their logo?
Wait, what? Tell me.
Would we have to change any, would they have to change anything on their application to reflect the fact that they got a new logo?
Who?
Dog.com.
No,
Right.
no.
Just making sure. Oh, the blue shirts. Oh my god, I keep wanting to say blue shirts. Do you have custom made prices or?
Yeah, unfortunately, custom ink seems to be about 14
For
for
sure.
sure.
Well, there's no issue with the blue shirts, or the row is from what we can find.
I can't even find the language in the university's guidelines or whatnot, so I think it's probably fine, so. I think that, David just might ask you for that if the vendor has not been used before, but I don't even know if the vendor's been used before. So, that's just like, cause I didn't recognize it, I don't want to cause this like whole debacle this and.
Oh yeah, that's the, yeah, don't want that happening.
So I would just say, I don't believe in an issue we should proceed, but if it does become an issue, which is, I think it's fair that you said, just revisit the issue at the rate area.
Alright, I have no issues with that. So could you, actually, I'd like to move previous question and debate. Alright, do you have anything you'd like to respond to, any of the points you've heard this time?
No, I think everything's been covered fairly. If the shirts are in violation of the standards, we understand and we try to get it next year. Hopefully the shirt prices on custom ink, or we'll find a different vendor and they'll have it.
Okay. So, introduce the legislation.
Dean, could you open up the legislation? Alright, I'd like to introduce FBL 109-1920, approval of the dog collar comedies fall to 19 secondary ad hoc allocation system request. For the total amount of, what was the number of that?
131.
There's one I assigned, we have to move to that.
131.14. Right, yeah, we should document that. Alright, copy and paste that number, or just like.
Yeah, I mean, you'll document it in
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
approved, right? So.
Yeah, just note in the minutes that it was originally 108, we changed the total to this. FPL. Alright, is there a motion on the floor regarding FPL 109-1920?
To approve FBL 109-1920.
Second. Alright. Would anyone like to register an abstention at this time? Alright, all in favor of approving FPL 109-1920 for the amount of $131.14, please raise your hands now. All opposed? Alright, 8-4, 0 against, 1 abstaining, the motion carries. Congratulations on the shirts. Scott's gonna walk you out and he'll kind of the procedure of how to do that.
Thank you so much, guys.
Of course, thank you for coming in. What's next on our agenda? Additional meeting times, we're about 10 minutes behind, but that's no big deal.
Wait, Dean, could you go back to the legislation? Oh, never mind, I thought you put some on this, not that.
So up next on our agenda is additional meeting times for the spring budget cycle, but seeing as the treasurer for Greenbelt Society is here, are you the only one from your organization?
There's supposed to be one, but we have a president and vice president.
We can hold for that, that's no problem. Alright, So I'd like to talk about additional meeting times for the spring budget cycle. Last meeting, Nithya and Mohammed, you guys weren't here, but we all kind of looked at our schedules, and the best time available would be Fridays from around 5:30 to 8. We're looking at meeting time, considering how much time it took to do the cycles during the summertime. The 4 meetings that we have between the budget submission deadline this Friday and November 18th, which is when we have to have a decision out, is only 4 weeks, or 4 Tuesdays worth of meeting. Those meetings are probably gonna go pretty late, but we figured we still need the additional time to look outside. So we realized the need for a second meeting outside of the regular finance board meeting, and the one that kind of worked best for everyone was Fridays from like 5 to 8. So how does that work with you guys? Mohammed, I know your schedules are pretty packed, so.
It still is. So, I'll probably talk to someone about that and see how it goes. But at this point, I mean, I'm not really comfortable with it just because of my schedule, personal schedule. But I get the reason, the need for it. So I still have to discuss consulting that personally. But it's a personal issue. It's not something with you guys.
So,
and then Candace.
will Dean be there to take notes that maybe Mom could have to look over if he's not able to make it?
Someone's gotta be there to take minutes and officially here.
Dean says yes.
If not, I'll not your thing.
Do you think
Candace.
that will-
Who's my little icon?
So,
Go to the AV thing.
Yeah, just a little.
are you kidding?
Make sure I have it.
Was the conversation that we had last week that you would have these additional meeting times, but that they wouldn't count against the
attendance policy.
attendance policy because they are extra, they're not the Tuesday. We just wanna make sure that everybody understands that. Granted, the hope is that as many of you as possible, if they're gonna be there on Fridays, are there on Fridays, or whatever the day is, but that, knowing that it's extra, that it's not like, you're not taking a job.
So it's a special session, I understand like the issues that are involved with that, especially because it's out of the blue and we're requesting you guys to do more than you were to sign up for, on top of all the other stuff I've asked you to do that's not what you already signed up for the second in your hire letters. So the meetings on Friday, again, would not be required, so to speak. As long as we have quorum, there's a possibility that any legislation would be passed. But we simply just need to get the work done. That's kind of why we have to have these meetings. Ideally, we'd be able to do a lot of discussion during these points, do number crunching, figure out our decisions, and then wait until our Tuesday meetings where we're on live stream, we have meeting minutes where it's open to the public, like all the stuff available for clubs to come in before we actually do our votes on legislation. But until then, that's kind of what our Friday is. So again, if you can't make it, it won't be held against you, but we're hoping that everyone can. Nithya has that time sound for you.
Say 5:30?
5:30 to 8 on Fridays. And I'll have Dean disseminate minute notes and information to you since you can't make that. And I will try to avoid passing any legislation during that time. It'll just be a discussion point. If that's okay with you.
No, you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to do that. This is something that I'm still deciding. So
Yeah.
just
If you can't make it, I'll make sure that you're at least kept informed. And if you have any things or notes that you want to bring in, if you email that to us prior, I'll make sure that it's spoken. Alright, so can I get a quick straw poll in terms of special sessions Fridays from 5:30 to 8 between for the dates of October 25th, November 1st, November 8th, and possibly November 15th? Is everyone okay with that date? If so, please raise your hand now. This would be Fridays from 5 to 8, or 5:30 to 8.
I'm voting on it.
Straw poll, anyone?
Straw poll, anybody?
I should,
Yeah.
you can't make it,
Yeah. Fridays, are those dates, do they sound like dates you'll be able to make?
Yeah.
So Fridays from 5 to 8. Alright, so everyone, Fridays from 5:30 to 8, is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Alright, if you can't make one of them, that's perfectly understandable, just let us know ahead of time, and if you have any notes or things you'd like to be sent in or mentioned or topics to be discussed, just email me at least 24 hours prior to the meeting. Alright, I think we have our spring meeting times. So we have members of the Pre-Veterinary Society here. We'll start by going off a round of introductions. After that, we'll give you an opportunity to speak on your request, what you want to hear, the information I'd like to present, and then we'll go into discussion and questions and all that stuff. But in the meantime, Dean, could you open up FBL 103-1920 and open up the spouse requests at BBR 2017. while we do that, we'll start with introductions. Scott, would you like to go first?
Scott McKim, SGA treasurer. PM, I am a voting member.
My name is Liam Kim. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Liam Kim. I'm the current chair of the finance board. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a voting member.
Hi, I'm Michael Chapman. I'm a finance board representative. I'm a voting member. Hi, I'm Tim Hoffberger. I'm the vice president of student organizations. He and pronouns, and I'm a voting member.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm the president of the Pre-Vet Society. I'm Demi, and I'm the vice president of the Pre-Vet Society.
My name is Christina Levine. I'm the treasurer for the Pre-Vet Society.
I'm Justin Conner, vice chair of the finance board, voting member.
Hi, I'm Ophelia. I'm a finance board rep, a voting member, and a she, her pronouns.
I'm Howard Pilot, I'm a finance board rep as well, and I'm a voting member.
Hi, I'm Shahar. I'm part of the athletic program. I use she and her. I'm not a voting member.
Hi, I'm Elise Choi, and I'm a finance board rep. I am also voting member, I use she, her.
Candace Martinez Dunn, assistant director for leadership and governance. I also serve as SGA advisor, she, her pronouns, and I am not a voting member.
Hi, I'm Courtney Campbell, coordinator for student organization development, SGA, finance board advisor, she, her pronouns, I'm not a voting member.
Hi, I'm Victor Gosser, finance board representative, she, her pronouns, I am a voting member.
Dean Green, secretary for finance board. I use he, him pronouns, and I am not a voting member.
So you guys like to give a quick 1 to 2 minute spiel on what you're requesting, the shirts, all that kind of stuff, and why you need the money, basically. Power back on.
So yeah, the pictures is not all that great. But it's actually a really cool design. I can pull it up on here if you want to pass it around.
It's like a stethoscope, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We had a member of it, ours, designed it last semester. So yeah, Pre-Vet Society kind of fell to the wayside last year. We were trying to get back on board. We did not get any money from SGA last semester. We didn't ask for any. So the first order of business that we would like to do is to get our members t-shirts, because we have a lot of exciting events coming up. We have one right now that we are organizing with the main veterinary school in our area. It's a in-state tuition school, so a lot of the students that are going to vet school that are in-state Maryland students are going to go there. So we're organizing a visit with them for this coming January, and that's pretty much all set up. We have everyone's name that needs to go or is coming. We're also trying to have a veterinarian that I work with come and speak to us. She's actually a graduate of UMBC, and she's part owner of her practice now, so she's a really good resource for everyone. And we also are planning a day trip to the Maryland Zoo, where we would like to wear the t-shirts as well. Yeah, we would like to wear the t-shirts to Virginia Tech, which is the vet school, and to the zoo trip. We're also trying to work with the equestrian club to try and do some volunteer horse work, which we would also hopefully wear our t-shirts for. So a lot of representing UMBC, representing the Pre-Vet Society, and trying to gain more interest and support all the pre-vet majors that are here at UMBC. Because I know I haven't had a lot of support as a pre-vet major from some advisors, so I'd like to be there for those students.
Thank you very much. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add? Alright, are there any questions for the organization at this time? Candace?
Where did you get this shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, my mom got it for me for Christmas. Yeah, it just came from my job.
Pretty epic.
So, yeah.
Pretty much so that was my own question.
Alright, are there any questions relating to this request?
See, there you go. Be specific.
This is how she gets it. Any questions? Alright, at this moment, the finance board's going to enter period of discussion. During this time, finance representatives and expedition members can talk to kind of discuss and debate the merits of the request. You guys will not be able to talk during this time, but if you hear anything that you feel is out of place, or if you misinterpret your words, or we said something that kind of catches your attention, please take note of it. You'll be given a chance once discussion is over to kind of give a rebuttal to anything you said that you feel is out of place. All right, with that, I'd like to open discussion on the Pre-Veterinary Society's request. Michael and Scott.
I have no issue with this request. The only thing I have a question on is the branding. It's good. Okay, so then I have no problem with it. I say their use of the shirt sounds great. I think it's a great way to advertise the organization and maybe improve other clubs and for these type of shirts. So I say let's go for it. Sorry. Last part. I say we should max it at $10 per shirt following our budgetary statute, so to a maximum of $300.
They're cool and good. 30 shirts, $300. Let's prove it.
Any other discussion points? All right, with that, I'd like to move previous question.
Second.
All right, do you have anything you'd like to respond to? Anything that you?
Yeah, we have enough money in our flex for the account, carryover account to cover the additional 36 cents. That would be.
Using your meal plan to pay
I
for it.
don't even have a meal plan, so.
All right, with that being said, do you need to open up 103? Yeah. And with that, I'd like to introduce FDL 103-1920, approving the Pre-Veterinary Society's Fall 2019 Secondary Ad Hoc Allocation System request for the total amount of $300.
Move to approve FBL 103-1920.
All right. Would anyone like to register an abstention at this time? All right. All in favor of approving FPL 103-1920 for the total amount of $300, please raise your hand now. All opposed? All right. And with that, the motion carries. Congratulations, you guys got money.
What's after this on the agenda?
Hold on. After this is my legislation. So I can hold to get back to that. And we can do a discussion about the ICH.
Move to amend the agenda for a 5-minute recess right now.
Second.
All right. Are there any objections? Hearing no objection, motion passed on consent. But first, vote how. So Scott's going to walk you out. He'll explain the process of how to go to SABSC to get your shirts, all of that. All right. With that, we are in recess. Before you guys say stuff, let me turn off the live stream. Someone gets in trouble.